What up? What up? What up?
Yo. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter, everybody.
That's Easter.
Happy Resurrection Day.
Resurrection was this morning.
Resurrection
right now.
is it Easter evening?
It's Easter evening. It's right after you get done eating food and you think you about to die yourself.
Listen, I just might. Everybody tap in, say hey, say hi. If you are in a ham and potato salad coma, just know that we are too.
We definitely are. I'm definitely am.
This cat had ribs and chicken, and
it was way too much
food. Way too much.
Matter of fact, if y'all need a plate,
just come on by.
Swing on by. I
can't eat too much soul food anymore. Like I can eat some, but I can't pick out anymore.
Man, it was so.
I'll come back to it, but I can't like that. The pile at the plate situation.
And let me just give a big shout out.
Give a big shout out
to Lady Shamika Johnson.
Lady Shamika Johnson.
And her pound cake ministry.
Lady J Sweet Treats.
She got a pound cake ministry. It sizzles the soul.
You know what the ministry? You know what the ministry motto is? Bake a cake for everybody and warm but your own husband. That's where I came home and I was like, "Where's all the cakes at?" Nah, she probably brought it home from grandma.
I know she did. She like pay one.
Did you buy one? Did you cash at me? You got my cash app. No, my wife is getting. She's boss with the pound cake.
She do her thing. Listen, I know I said I didn't know what I want to talk about, but there is something I want to bring up to you for a second. Man.
Come on, Pastor.
This is Easter. We could
it's
just
Easter.
flow.
We're just flowing. It's an Eggstravaganza.
Eggstravaganza. I have heard and I've watched.
All right, Jeff.
Over this last week, several different buffoons. That's what I'm gonna call them. Buffoons literally cussing over the pulpit.
Oh, has that came back again?
It's been like 3 of them.
It's lazy.
And I'm just like, why?
It's lazy.
I'm just like, even at this point in 2022.
Gimmick. It's a cheap gimmick.
At this point in 2022, you don't even got to read the King James ASS version of it. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can do the New King James where it says donkey.
So you were talking about like the Palm Sunday sermons.
No, these were other sermons that they just was going, it was a couple of them.
It's attention grabbing. That's what I think it is.
But it's like, for me, when you're doing that, you've already got your reward because you're getting your likes, you done went viral, but it's all for the wrong reason. Who is it touching? Who is it, who is it helping? I don't.
But there's people out there that want their preacher to keep it real.
That's not real. It's real.
Listen,
stupid.
But it's funny because just you complaining about it, somebody will listen to you say, "Hey, I don't," and they're like, "Well, y'all always acting phony, like you don't cuss." Maybe what if we don't? I mean, is it okay if preachers don't?
Even if I wanted to cuss, I'm not cussing over the pulpit.
I agree, and I think that's the thing that's missing in our conversations about stuff like this is that we've lost the appropriateness of space. There used to be a time and place for everything. Man, we would sneak with teenagers and cuss and get grandma walk in the room. We're not like F you, grandma. I mean, you know what I mean? It's not like you just gonna hear me. Like we've lost that, and we think realness means being raw everywhere.
And it's not just it's not just in a pulpit. It's not just in church. It's in general in the community. There was a time, probably I'd say about maybe 10 years ago, where people just went on a rampage of stealing churches' central air. It's like, I mean, it was only the churches though.
I was cussing in. You came in, that church is hot. I mean, okay, at least be a justified curse word. Like not like I do it into my sermon and or I'm trying to make it. But Minister Chris says preachers, believers should not cuss. Speak for yourself, Chris. Speak for
speak for yourself.
Speak for yourself. I'm joking. Chris is our guy. He's one of our guests.
Y'all know Todd is squared in a mug.
I am square. I'm seriously.
You don't even know no cuss words.
I don't. I would lose the cussing contest if I ever. Yeah, my dad even said that once. He was like, he said when I was out in the world, I couldn't even cuss right. The people was like, "You need to go home. You need to go home. This is not your scene." Yeah, I mean, but I also feel like it's always gone on. There's always somebody trying to push the envelope and be wild. But social media is making people want to take these clips and throw them up. And it really is for attention and likes. And unfortunately, the algorithms and everything will just push people. Whoever's saying something crazy and radical or stupid, they're just going to get it. And they're going to get the likes.
They're going to get them. People really,
Yeah.
and I mean, they're going to get a meme made. I mean, they're just.
It's going to be a real.
It's so crazy.
A story.
It's so crazy. I mean, Kirk Franklin's song. I don't even know which one it was. Literally has gone viral on TikTok with a bunch of girls half butt naked dancing to it.
Was that the song your niece was outside dancing to when I walked up?
That's good.
Your niece and Christian, they was outside dancing. It was a gospel song. And it was some girls. I couldn't see the screen, but it was some girls dancing. And I was like, I'm about to be in y'all TikTok before I came in the house.
It might have been. It was oh. Maybe it was Do You Want a Revolution?
Yeah, it was a revolution. It was.
See, I ain't even know that. See, that's our church kids outside doing stuff. I ain't even know. That's hilarious.
I was in there with them.
But at least they wasn't being.
No, they weren't. They weren't, man. But you're right. I mean, we don't have any decorum. And we're out of step with the rest of the world. So those of us who think old school, like, hey, there's a time and place. You shouldn't play like a James Cleveland song, put a trap beat behind it and start twerking to it. So I don't feel no ways tired.
Right.
Of twerking.
So all y'all out there, all y'all who are listening, the million viewers we got right now, how'd y'all church plays go this morning?
Yeah, how'd you get your production?
How'd y'all kids?
Ours was surprisingly good. It was so jerky in rehearsal. It's almost like choirs, just like music rehearsals and stuff is real jerky. It really came together. It really came together. The only thing that I noticed, and I didn't mention this yet, and I don't know if any of our members are watching, is the very last scene, which we were singing a song, and G was supposed to come out on the last verse of the song, and that was the end of the play. He was supposed to come out and meet two people who found the tomb empty, and they didn't come back out. So he was just walking around random for a while. Just kind of randomly wandering around. It was like
a Second Baptist version.
We could have made a meme out of that and called like the lost savior. He just didn't know who to greet, so he just walked out the door, and it was over. A lot of people have been talking like, should we still have Easter plays and productions? And we did Stations of the Cross and all that. I mean, I want to hear the opinions about that. Do you even want to see them and do them outside of saying, I gave my kids an experience?
I want mimes, and
to death with the mimes.
I had to do it.
If I see a mime, I'm gonna put them in the tomb. Put the mimes in the tomb. Speaking of which, and I'm gonna say it. Okay, this weekend was my first time in a long time having to be around worship with flags. You know how I feel about flags. No disrespect, but perhaps you feel disrespected. But tonight, somebody pulled out like an American flag situation. Like it was like one of them giant ones. Like, you know how they do the national anthem at the Super Bowl and they like cover up the whole field. I was like, what is happening? What is happening?
I can't with Todd.
They almost hit me. I mean, they came to. I mean, she had like a real pole, like an outside pole. It was. So Mark was there. Mark, you were there. I'm not making this up. So she had like a giant polyurethane pole or something with this like 20 by 20 foot flag.
Listen, all y'all mimers, I love y'all. Y'all keep on miming and flagging away. As long as y'all hit me, do what God has given y'all grace y'all to do.
How did you not see that, Mark?
See?
Mark wasn't in worship. Mark wasn't. I took a picture of it and actually sent it to somebody.
Look, you about to show the picture. Don't do it. Don't show the picture.
Thank you.
I'm sorry if I made a face. I didn't mean to make that face.
Thank you. All right, I made my point. At least to Pastor Jeff. No, you know what? I'm preparing for Old Man. Old Man Todd is coming out. We'll get to our little intro. We're just vibing today. Old Man Todd is coming out. Church is preaching and singing. Preaching, singing, and praying is church to me. Preaching, singing, and praying. Leave just everything else. At least not on a Sunday. You want to do some weirdness, come back Thursday night. Sunday morning, I want y'all to say a prayer. I want y'all to sing a song.
He called y'all weird.
And I want to hoop, take up this offering and go home.
Oh,
all these Hollywood productions, Tyler Perry presents the Mime Team. I don't want to see this with bad wigs. With terrible wigs. All right, you know what? What do you want to do? We won't even need to hit you. You already hit it. We hit it. Yeah, we're not going to talk about this other stuff. What time is it? It's time for Meme of the Week.
Meme of the Week.
Meme of the Week. Meme of the Week.
Welcome to Religiously Incorrect, ladies and gentlemen.
Meme of the Week. Meme of the Week.
Thank you. Send us your memes of the week.
Meme of the Week. Meme of the Week.
We are. These are all jokes. We are just playing.
I think he came to church this Sunday. I think he was in church this morning.
I've seen about 3 of them.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those too. He's somebody's uncle.
Somebody's uncle, somebody's dad.
He used to be a pimp, and now he's a lot of people's daddy. He has an outreach ministry like no other.
I mean, is them bifocal
Was it blue blockers? Listen, he has seen many things.
That brother think you think he prophesied now. He can just see the future.
There's one at every There's one at every church. Or has been through every church. But been through every church. And maybe pimps might make good deacons.
But, I mean, should we listen? The brother just got good hair. You know what I mean? Should he actually have to let it go because the times can change?
No, I think there's haters out there, and trust me, I've seen enough cats putting chemicals in their hair and everything else. And I saw somebody like he had a helmet on today. He had like a jet black helmet, and he was like 107 years old.
I don't know.
I respect his grind, but pimps can make good deacons. They'll get that money.
Hey,
they'll make sure they're dressed.
He will do that.
If you need some choir members, they know where to find some singers at. Sure.
This show is
called Religiously Incorrect.
It went all the way downhill real fast, real quick.
Wait, what?
But I mean, hey,
Jeff, don't act like you ain't ever preached about turning a hoe into a housewife. I've heard it come out of your mouth.
No,
I have heard it.
This is what I said. I said there was a lady. She was a lady. Yes, who on my way to church, I felt compelled to stop.
I bet you did. I bet you did. That's always how they tell it to the police.
I'm done.
That's always the opening statement at the church meeting.
She became a very good member of.
Did she?
Of Beulah. Yes, she did.
You calling out names now.
She was a member of Beulah.
And you felt compelled to stop.
Because listen, I always tell them. I always tell my congregation.
He felt
how many people do you ride past on church and not ask them, do they have a church home? Do you want to go to church? That's real. I think that's real ministry.
I'm not saying it's not. I mean, I can't see myself rolling up on too many young ladies though.
I mean,
but I'm not. Spirit led you, man.
It was just one of those days. I mean,
Spirit led you.
This cat.
Let him lead you, Doc. From earth to glory. From earth to glory. You tricked us, man. You had 3 you were picking from, and you decided to. Yeah, I see that now. I got you. I don't
know what happened.
Well, let's knock this out the way before we do our sponsors. First of all, just happy Easter to everybody.
Happy Easter.
Happy Resurrection Day. Chris preached for Beulah Baptist.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a wig, Tiffany. Don't hate. That was not a wig. I think Chris is right. He went crazy on the juice and berries. I think Chris was right. Yeah, so happy Easter. Hope you had an Easter day. What I want you to do is, as we get our sponsors together, I want you to tell us how your Easter was. Tell us one good thing about how Easter was. And you know what? Just tell us one bad thing, too. It wouldn't be religiously incorrect if we didn't talk about. And
let me know if y'all got any Easter candy left. I want a Reese's cup or something.
I need some eggs. I haven't seen any eggs yet.
I can't do the eggs.
Can't do the eggs?
Can't do them.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't bring them with you.
I would like some deviled eggs now.
We actually have some deviled eggs.
Well, I'm coming over your house.
There it is. We want to thank our sponsors from the Phillips Care family of businesses, Phillips Care Cleaning Services. They do residential, commercial. I have a testimony. Phillips Care Cleaning, which they really do maintenance. They do a little bit of everything. Our man Fernando, 330-219-7916. They literally got my house ready to sell in spite of my best efforts to sabotage the process, because I am the worst homeowner and landlord ever. Everything that could possibly be wrong with my house was wrong with it, and half of it was my fault. And they fixed all of it, and I closed in the morning. So thank you.
So you're gonna put a praise on it.
Put a praise on it. I said that duct tape better stay on that house until I sign them papers. Phillips Care Cleaning Service. Look them up on Facebook, and while you're at it, check out Phillips Care Lawn Services. They do everything concerning the outdoors, not just grass cutting. They'll haul away refuse, branches, leaf removal, edging, trimming, everything, mowing. If you need it done outside, they can get it done. Lawn care starting at $30. Check out Phillips Care LLC or call my man Fernando at 330-219-7916, and you will not get a discount. He might even give you one of my unpaid bills to take care of. So thank you to our sponsors for supporting us. I want to go to the comments a little bit and just chat about Easter.
Before we go to the comments, let me make something real plain and real clear, real quick. I know Pastor Todd just expressed to y'all that he's selling his house and it'll be, he closes on it tomorrow. He ain't loaning y'all no money.
I'm not giving you nothing.
He gonna loan me some, but y'all ain't getting nothing. Y'all ain't getting not a dime. Matter of fact, he might loan y'all some money at 20% interest. And Fernando got a gun business somewhere on the side.
Phillips Care Enforcement. Phillips Care Shakedowns.
He got one somewhere on the side that ain't registered.
Phillips Care Protection Services.
All right, I'm sorry. I had to say that because I don't want people calling you Doc.
You want your bar to stay open? We need 15%. Yeah. So, I'm not giving none of y'all. I could barely give myself money. So, we know how it is. But Easter, this was number one, the first for most people, open Easter.
Right.
Church was packed. Church was packed. I looked up.
Crowd.
I looked up, and it was packed like I'm used to church being packed. Where do these people come from, and who are they? And why are they walking in when I'm on my last point?
You had some of those too.
Oh my goodness! I'm like,
I loved it.
You can tell people haven't been to church in a long time because you changed the time of church like 3 years ago. And they still don't know it, and they came. Yeah. They just come. I mean, one literally came in like benediction.
I mean,
they just walked in and turned around and walked back out.
They bought the outfit for church.
They got
to wear it to church,
right? Yeah.
Now they're gonna wear it everywhere else afterward church.
Yeah,
but they had to.
That's why I saved that offering for the end. We catch those stragglers. This is just smart ministry.
It is.
So let's see. Dave, you threw down some hibachi on the grill. That's unique. That's a little up. It's a little bit up right there. Dave threw some hibachi on the grill.
Okay.
And that sounds good.
Okay.
Chris said he had a headache. He been feeling lightheaded ever since. That's because y'all shout too much. That's what that is. If you go see a doctor, he's gonna say, "I'm gonna need you to moderate your shouting a little bit. I'm gonna need you to I'm gonna need you to have no more than 2 shouts a day. All right. What else?
I used to can shout real good.
You used to be able to shout?
I used to can shout real good. I can't shout no more.
Deacon Tony had a name for your shout. You remember it?
River dance.
The river dance. Jeff, you have to like an Irish stepper.
I can't do it no more. I can't do it. I'm too
Yeah.
old.
Yeah, we're
old,
starting to lose it. We just stand all like that, like the preacher do, and watch everybody else holler and you carry on.
You know, I mean, church was, excellent today. Like you said, it was a great crowd. Just, getting back into it and having that, today, I'm gonna tell you something. Today was the first time, and I don't know how long, I said, turn to your neighbor.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I did it all. And the people that said don't bring it back, forget y'all. In the words of CeeLo Green, the radio edit. You're gonna turn to your neighbor, you're gonna touch your neighbor, you're gonna high five. I might tell you to French kiss your neighbor. You're gonna do whatever I tell you to do because y'all came back to church. So we're gonna do what church stuff does. That's the way it is.
When I said it, I was actually surprised I said it. But when people done it, I was like, oh, okay.
I said, turn to 3 neighbors. I said, find a neighbor with a positive COVID diagnosis and go tell.
I have done this.
Tell them, neighbor, you got the COVID now. Yeah, I mean, church is church. Thank you, Chris. It's never going to go away. It just is what it is. It makes church more interesting. Half of y'all don't do it anyway. So if you don't want to do it, you don't do it right. Anyway. So what's the...
But when you don't do it, it makes the neighbor feel like something wrong with them.
Yeah, I actually did it tonight at the service. I stopped by and the person didn't turn to me and I was offended. I had taken Tic Tacs and everything. I was ready. And I was offended. I was offended. Plus I'm a pastor. I'm like, how are you going to turn to a pastor?
Right.
Come on. This is your privilege to talk to.
Y'all can tell we Easter egg tired.
You can tell we Easter egg tired.
Easter egg tired.
Yeah, so the crowd was there. One thing I focused on, Pastor, is I even said it in our rehearsal as we kind of had our last final Saturday night prep. You and I have both witnessed in ministry together and in our own churches. Easter does bring the crowds out. Mm-hmm. But it's like a crowd that brings a strange vibe to the service that's hard to just, you think you'd be having this exciting church and everybody get into it, but there's just like so much commotion and bustling and almost people like, I'm here, but I'm not even really interested.
Right.
So I'm just, and there's nothing wrong with coming to church and just observing and listening and everyone does not shout and scream, but the vibe just seems weird and it's hard to fight through.
I think a lot of times we allow the visitors to set the tone.
There it is.
In the temple.
That's true.
Of the church. And
that's true.
And you should never, I had probably 20, 30 people over my house today. And this is my house. I'm gonna do what I want to do in my house.
You walk around
what I want to wear in my house.
Walk around butt naked eating ham on his couch. That's what he does at his house.
I mean, don't allow people who haven't been there and more than likely a lot of times won't come back.
And I think that if you're on, yeah, you're right. And if you're kind of on eggshells because the church is a little more full than it normally is, you're actually robbing them of the experience that they would normally get in a more comfortable setting. So if there were only 2 or 3 visitors on a regular Sunday, and they have a chance to just get with what the normal members are doing, the every Sunday members are doing. But if you're doing nothing, then you're kind of not giving them anything to be a part of.
Right.
And you're right. We let the visitors, I don't mean that in a negative way, like y'all visitors, shouldn't be running. But, if you are coming to observe and you are coming, hey, it's Easter, grandma wants me to make sure I bring the babies, that's a beautiful thing to me. And one thing I've learned to do, and I know you do it, I'm not sitting here bashing and talking about that.
Absolutely.
If you walk into a church and this first time you've been to church in 3-4 years, and the first thing they do is remind you that this is the first time you've been to church in 3 and 4 years, just get up and walk out that church with my permission.
In a hurry.
Or make snide comments about how y'all probably won't be back next week. Yeah, it's gonna be. That's whack. Whack.
It's old. It's played out.
Yeah.
Stop it. Grow up.
Guilty people.
And be happy that they decided to show up to you.
I'm glad you're here. Your presence is a blessing.
Yes, sir.
God bless you. Of course, you're welcome to come back whenever. And honestly, why are we acting like this is anything new or abnormal? Lots of people do different things. Don't you put out a more special spread on a holiday at your house?
Right.
And you could look at your wife, or your wife could look at you and be like, you don't grill like this any other Sunday. I mean, but where does that get you, though?
Right.
Constantly making that. So I don't even consider it like a religious thing. I don't even consider, it's like, if people have an open heart at a certain season, whether it's family ties, social expectations, whatever it is, there's a million other places they could be. I'm glad they do have a mind to still come to church, even if it is on those holidays. And some eventually may become, more faithful.
But here's the thing, Pastor Todd. If you don't give them a raw and real visual of what your church is like, you're giving them false expectations. So next week when they come and show up and y'all running around the church speaking in tongues, jumping up and down, they're like, well, what happened to this calm? You know what I mean? At least give them.
Well, but on the flip side of that, the holiday service that they're coming to, because it's a holiday, is also the service that we tend to put extra into because it is the holiday and it's not a regular Sunday service. Now, for the most part, outside this little skit, it was basically the same thing. We did our song and our sermon. Mm-hmm. There were no flags present. Okay, there are no mimes, no face paint. So I can honestly say, and you probably too, outside, I think everybody knows it's Easter speech week. It's whatever. Lily's on.
I literally just after the offering, I said, take your time right here, and then we're gonna roll right back into the next rest of the service. You know what I mean? I just
gave what time
to do their little
the speeches,
play, speech, whatever they was doing. I just literally cut and just went.
Oh, we gotta stop, Jeff. We gotta have a prayer meeting.
What happened?
We gotta have a prayer meeting for Elder Dooley. His organ went out on Easter Sunday.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. My heart goes, man, listen. There is no sorrow that heaven cannot heal. God is near to the brokenhearted. When my heart is overwhelmed, there's nothing worse. And that brings me to my next subject about Easter. And Elder Dooley is a churchman. I heard it said, and I mean, we churched out both services. I don't want to hear no pie in the sky, Space Odyssey 2001 worship. I don't want to hear no Disney or Broadway. I want to hear screaming, shouting, he got up, he died 9,000 times. And you're absolutely right, Dooley. And nobody wants to hear that to a keyboard. Put them keyboards away, pull the Hammond out. And you know what? Those of you who pulled the Hammond out for Easter, leave it out for the rest of the year.
Please do.
Leave it out. You know what I've discovered? Not just the older saints, but younger people who don't even go to church very much have a preference for a gospel sound. And you can get on here and argue with me about your CCM is whack. Same two chords over and over again. And I mean, if you're not saying he got up or he died or he decided to die or something, you didn't have Black Easter Church and you need to turn in your Black Easter card.
He lives. I
said it. I want to hear some poop. I respect all styles. You already know I do because we sing it all. But I feel for Dooley. I feel for you, man. And those of you that don't understand, that's just our sound. If you're a musician or a preacher, you need that organ, boy.
It just takes you there. It just takes you there.
And then don't try to get on like one of them keyboard Casio joints and try to make the organ sound, make you sound like the organ grinder from a Disney movie or something. Yeah, you don't want that. I mean, bring the real grimy. There's just something special about it. When you hit that, thank you, Chris. There's just something about it. And again, you can take it for what you want. This is my show. You have your own show. Do your own live. People agree with you.
What's the thing in the back you use in the back of the Hammond? What's the
Leslie?
The Leslie.
When that spins and grind and rock.
Ooh, y'all know I don't know nothing about music,
brother. But you know that.
Ooh,
you know God. That. Yeah, I mean, and so God. It was just. I mean, yeah. So I feel for you, man. I feel for you. But yeah, I mean. And the funny thing is, there are not very many new good Easter songs. If you need somebody, post your favorite Easter song right now. Oh, it was the Leslie. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks.
Oh, it was the Leslie.
Because fixing the Leslie, for those that don't know, is like stinking fixing a car. If your Leslie go out, which is that big brown speaker, the big cabinet speaker next to the organ, if your Leslie goes out, you literally got to call like your uncle with the toothpick in his mouth, and he be like, I think it's the carburetor.
Put a little gas in the carburetor.
Put a little gas in the carburetor.
Prime it up.
You need a new timing belt. You need a new timing chain.
He the one who just look at him.
You need an alternator. You need an alternator. That ain't nothing but a head gasket. Organs, I'm serious. Organs are like cars, man. The parts you need, man. You had to go to a junkyard to find them, man. And I'm dead serious. Yeah.
Either go to the junkyard or go to the basement of Todd's church. Todd got 3 extra everything in his church.
Actually, that's the one thing. Well, actually, we do. We have a loft full of extra organ parts. Yeah. I know it was the blood. He lives. We did Jesus Went to Calvary today. I don't care how many times it's been done. We did it, and the people shouted. We did Live and He Loved Me.
Live and He Loved Me.
Yeah, we did Live and He Loved Me.
Died and He saved me.
He decided. Chris knows I have extra stuff, man. He was like, I need this. I was like, 1 minute. I need this. 1 minute. He go back in my little toolbox. The blood still works. And let me say this, since we're talking about music.
I forgot about the blood still works.
You all know that Pastor Jeff and I are basically old school bashers. If you're a new schooler and you're frustrated that we're not into your music, make better music. Stop hating on the fact that we just have not heard something that moves us for a long time. Stop being mad at us. Be mad at yourself. And maybe, and you know what I'm starting to see, and I don't mean to be on music because it's not a music show. Maybe you should really, really dive in and study the classics like for real.
That's it.
To find the feel and the spirit.
It takes too much. It takes too much effort, and it takes. I think these people were actually in tune. When you make a song like, I Come to the Garden Alone.
Well, that song's like 900 years old.
It don't matter, but it's there.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
That has some meaning to it.
Yeah.
That has some oomph, some kick.
It does. And even, I don't care if it's in the 70s, the 60s. Every industry has its sweet spots. Mm-hmm. And if you're not in it, I mean, look at us. I don't mean look at us, but I mean, we're preaching in a day and time in an area that's just like kind of on the depressed side. I'm not going to be mad at preachers that were hitting 40 years ago. Like, I'm mad at you because you were preaching when the area was growing and people went to church. What am I mad about? So some of y'all just need to do better, and I don't mean better as if your music's not good, but sometimes it's not, but do better at studying with the people. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing what you love. Do what you love, but just to accept the fact that what you love might not be loved by the rest of us. If it really is a labor of love, then you got to leave it there and not try to make it a endeavor of popularity.
I'm going to tell you what, if you got to turn off all your lights, put on steam and strobe lights to really get into worship with your music.
Correct.
You ain't.
Because all grandma needed was a choir robe and a good wig.
She didn't even need the Leslie.
She did. Oh, she needed the Leslie.
On
the piano back in the day.
Sometimes you in the church, they
just stomp.
She could be asleep and wake up dead out of sleep.
And maybe that's one of my things. Some of this stuff doesn't work without all the production.
That's it. That's what I'm saying. That's just what I'm saying.
You've just preached a sermon.
That's what I'm saying. When you sing what's the name of that old school one? Holy, 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 Lord God Almighty. Yeah. You don't even need a keyboard for that.
No.
And you can go in.
Correct.
It is what it is.
She said, I'm not with you, preacher. We need music. I feel it. So, Jeff, did you send anybody to hell today by giving them eggs and candy after church? Did you guys send any children to hell forever?
Oh yeah. Matter of fact,
your pagan practices,
we sent them to hell, and then I gave him a whooping when he came home because he had eggs in his room. So
that's hilarious.
Absolutely. I mean, come on now, It's just
we had our annual reminder that we're all a bunch of pagan worshipers, and that Easter. I had a good question. They were from friends. They weren't being hostile, but they shared the meme about why is Easter on a different day and da 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 da. And I didn't even answer them yet. But the answer is basically because every ancient culture measured their days by the moons and the suns and whatever, and the spring solstice or whatever. Everybody did basically, and so Passover is based off of that. The Feast of Passover, like a billion other religions, is based off the winter solstice or the spring solstice or whatever it's called, and that moves around. That's just the end of the story. And I think church people should not be so, y'all trying to undermine God. Just be honest about history and just say, yeah, like everybody else, probably influenced by some other people. Right. Some of these dates got set according to certain traditions, and that's how they measured time. And it is what it is. But somebody said, why is Jesus' birthday always on the same day, but the day he died always on a different day? I'm like, I kind of don't care. I'm still gonna holler when I get into
it's
it.
Literally, it's literally every year. I'm just sick of it, man. I'm like done with the arguments.
You're worshiping Ishtar.
I'm done with regardless of what holiday.
The fertility goddess.
I'm not gonna do it.
The fertility goddess.
I mean, if my kids coloring Easter eggs is gonna send them to hell.
So I guess I have a question: so are eggs evil any other day of the year? That's my question. I mean, are eggs and bunnies?
Eggs are always evil to me, but just don't like them. They ain't good.
I think bunnies are evil. I mean, I don't trust them.
All of them, they all got smart mouths.
They have an ulterior.
They all got some. Bugs Bunny was a smart mouth.
I have never met a
Peter Cottontail had a smart mouth. The bunny on. All of them got smart mouths.
Jeff is airing out his grievances with fake cartoon characters. Yeah, so I mean, I'm tired of that conversation. I don't even engage. You know what I realized that I wasn't seeing a lot of the posts this year because I had already blocked most of them. I had already blocked most people because this is what they do. Okay, I don't care what you think or believe. We all have a right to. But don't tag me.
Tag you. Right. Tag me and
explain this, Pastor. Nigga, no, I'm not explaining nothing.
I'm done. I'm done explaining.
No, I already know that you think different. I already know that you got your own beliefs. No, I'm not having this conversation. Remove tag, block, and that's the end of that. So I don't even see it anymore. So if I'm sure I'm probably still being tagged and don't know it and stuff.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, that's my problem. It's like, I don't care what you believe. I don't get on my Bible study, start teaching what I teach. Be like, let me tag this cat that's not a Christian so he can hear what I'm saying. I don't do that. That's petty. To me, that's silly. And to me, it tells
you're looking for argument.
Well, it tells me that you are not as secure in your beliefs as you say you are if you have to constantly look for disagreement. You have to look for a debate. You got to seek out somebody to try to antagonize an argument where it doesn't exist. I preach to people who, for the most part, come to church on Sundays to say amen because they already somewhat either agree with the Bible or are seeking out what the Bible says, and they think that, in their minds. So they're not going to come to somebody that they already disagree with, that they're going to jump up and dispute with for the most part. Once in a while, we get a crazy that shows up to a Sunday school class and has a bunch of questions. I didn't mean to call you crazy, but you're crazy if you come in with the intent of literally not asking honest questions, but not understanding that's not the time and place for it necessarily. But I don't seek out people that I already inherently disagree with. I just don't. I don't even care if I was going to a college course. I wouldn't just jump up and be like, Professor, who's been studying this for 50 years. For me, I don't agree. I mean, that's crazy.
If you really want to discuss it, don't tag me.
Let's have
maybe
a conversation.
Inbox me.
Let's go to lunch.
Say let's go to lunch.
And you're buying it because you're bothering me.
Exactly. I had somebody ask, why do y'all call it resurrection service instead of I ain't even respond. I'm not responding. I don't have
because I feel like it. I
can call it what I want to call it. Call it.
Is ABC in the Bible? I don't care. I'm gonna keep on saying it. I mean, what do we?
Jay wasn't even brought up in the Hebrew.
Yeah.
Just stop.
I'm sorry you don't understand the evolution of language.
Just stop. Just let it go. I can't with people.
I'm definitely with it. So do you think that this has blown the doors wide open and most churches will basically start to eliminate their barriers and their restrictions? Because I'm on the verge. Are you guys optional yet with the mask and stuff?
You know what? We're not optional. We still have.
But we ain't
we
saying
still
that
have
no more.
Yeah, I didn't see anybody say anything today.
I bet I know who would say something at your church.
I know a couple people who are gonna say something at my church, and they probably gonna tell me about it. Like y'all probably gonna have a meeting about what happened. There was a couple people in there on Easter that
Me and my family, me and my entire family. Yeah, I mean, I just think that again, the success, and I said this before we went live, and I'm going to say it now. I think that there are some pastors and ministries that were nervous about whether or not people would come back and really engage in in-person church. So they were purposely, I should say, limiting the crowds with various means, registrations, restrictions. Now, I'm not saying that if you had a registration or you had a restriction or you limited that you did it purposely. I'm not saying that. So don't get all uptight with us. I'm saying that there are probably some who would be real with themselves. Just like we said earlier, there are some people who like this online ministry stuff. They like the idea that the world is their congregation, even though they're not, because they didn't have a real congregation. They didn't have, anybody really coming. But I think that once they maybe were surprised, I know I was surprised by the response of people willing to come and pack into a church that for the last 2 years, I have only seen at funerals.
right.
Funerals in the church were the only place that I was seeing people like just throw off COVID fear. I literally had people come to a funeral on Friday, 300-400 people in our church for a funeral, and then say, I'm not coming on Sunday because it's COVID up in there, or I'm not about to be around people. So I think that this has blown the door open. And I think that we're going to see a wave of people who are basically, how should I say this? They'll just relax the restrictions. And they're not going to make broad announcements.
Right.
They're just going to stop talking
about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think even to the point where, because I believe that there are going to be more variants to come out, but I think we're kind of like over it, even over separate variants. When a new variant comes out, we just kind of, like you said, just kind of like ignore it a little bit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because we're past it. I mean,
I do think it's weird that we're at this level of not quite herd immunity, but so many people vaccinated. We know we have these variants that for the most part, what we believe at least, they have some effectiveness. Now I'm starting to think like people thought a year and a half ago. Now I feel like we're more into flu-ish territory, but we're still concentrating on COVID. Like there always will be people who develop complications. There always will be people who pass.
How many COVID tests you got at your house?
A stack that I'm never going to use.
I literally, I don't even. I'm
You know why
I'm gonna start giving them away.
You know why I never test positive for COVID? I mean, but it's a broken system at this point. Who, what, when, where? I guess you have to feel a certain level of symptoms to even want to get tested, unless you're one of those people who just, and hypochondriac about it.
Let me say this because I don't want people to we are not making fun of people who, there are some older people who actually.
Well, I mean, I think people know that. I'm naturally reckless, But I'm not reckless to the point of being around people with COVID. I'm just saying that I believe people were being unreasonable. You ain't going to
spring break. You ain't going to spring break.
I already did. I'm just saying, what's the difference, though? What's the difference between my auntie died and 300 people came to a funeral, or I went with my cousin to a club with 300 people in it? What's the difference? At this point, it's really not. Now, you could say that in the church, you're still going to have a lot of people mask up. But honestly, church is about the only place where there's any real obligation to mask up beside a hospital. We said that before.
And, no, airplanes, airports.
Yeah, and I'm sick of that too. I'm sick of that.
Well, I think that's literally got to be the dumbest.
I'm driving to my next destination. That literally has to be the dumbest.
Because honestly, when you get on these airplanes, you are closer to, especially if you ride in Sprint or Delta, one of them. Spirit, whatever.
And people stink. Can we just be honest about that?
Yeah.
There are some people that are not precious.
Yeah, that's why I always buy my own seat. I want to sit by the window. I pay for my own stuff.
Right.
And if I can afford it, I'm going to try to go first class where I'm by myself.
Okay, so we're in the aftermath. And we'll finish up with this, Pastor Jeff. And I want to hear from some of you. Do we still stream? And what is the power of streaming? What is the primary purpose of streaming at this point? Should some people stop streaming now if people come back to church? If your core people came back to church, I feel like some people should just stop streaming.
If you were never into it in the first place.
And it's not quality.
It's if your views haven't really peaked or went up and people haven't really caught on and start watching, you can still do it. If you're only doing it, if you know that you're doing it for those members.
Some shouldn't have had churches in the first place. Well, just tell us how you really feel, Sister Johnson. Ordained. That's not untrue. But you're saying that if your core is not the more people come to church at our church, the more the numbers drop a little bit. But it is actually people who are out of town, out of the area, people who are sick and shut in.
Right.
But so how's the flip side of people who claim they have now been normalized to online church, but they are not normalized to online anything else. And I do think that the one
I like that.
Deception is a weird word. I'm not going to use you're deceived. And I'm not going to say, but I am bothered by the fact that church became the one entity, particularly in our communities, if you're a Christian, that it became the one thing that you must, the pastor, the church structure, you just have to get used to folk not coming no more while we go back to everything else. While we get engaged in everything else, you have to. If you don't stay streaming, you're just going to miss out on us. Nobody else is. The stadiums aren't. You know what I mean? School, bar, nothing. You're not going to sit home and drink your own Hennessy and just be on a virtual bar with nobody. You're not going to do that. But y'all talk back to us. I feel some kind of way, not because I'm offended by people not coming back to church or whatever, but I feel like the demand that's been placed, you have to get used to this new normal, the new normal or the normal, whatever we call the new normal, to me only seems to apply to the church. Nobody is saying new normal anywhere. You shop the way you used to shop. You vacation the way you used to vacation. And the only difference is once in a while, if somebody demands it, you put on a mask once in a while. That's about it. Name me one other entity, like we said, besides flying on a plane, where people are have completely shifted. All them stand 6 feet apart, junk in the stores are gone. All that sanitizer everywhere is gone.
Schools are even back to normal.
Schools got kids wiping boogers on each other again and doing everything they were doing before.
Colleges, I even think didn't they lift the restriction for the NBA?
Mark had a good point. Yeah, they lifted restrictions. Mark had a great point. Workplaces have changed, but I'm already seeing articles and indications that that's going to have a backlash. These managers, and I think some types of work, we will realize that you're correct, Mark. I was just about to say some type of work have been realized it can do work from home.
Yeah, and I think that's a difference because I think they've realized that they can make that profitable as well.
Yeah, but now there's going to be a real estate crisis because you're going to have 1 billion empty buildings. And guess what they're going to become? Churches. All them insurance agencies with 1 million cubicles in them going to have a pulpit in every cubicle and somebody's streaming a service. I'm serious. What is every other empty building?
New Day, Fresh Anointing Baptist.
Right next to Photocopier Xerox Baptist Church. All those empty buildings are going to become churches. What else do they become? Dollar stores?
Dairy Queen, but the king is here. Their whole logo gonna be da 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 da. I'm loving it.
I I agree with you, Mark. There's definitely certain segments, but again, I think backlash, because we watched this happen in my job. Before I left my job back in 2016, they were starting to do telework. But the issue became, even for the workers, number one, there was this idea that you couldn't keep track of the workers, on task, but then they developed technologies to do it, to make sure you were on the phone and make sure you were on the computer and monitor your stuff, to the point where it was actually worse than being in the office. Because in the office, you could walk around and dilly-dally and talk to people and go to cooler and take long breaks and all this other jazz. Whereas when you're on that computer, and I got this in my house, they're literally like remote in and all that kind of stuff. And so outside of, I think, some hours changing, you're talking about 4-day work weeks, I haven't seen, and let's take it away from work, because Mark, you're not wrong about work. Is there any recreational social endeavor that has significantly changed, that has consistently or significantly changed, where there is a demand, an inherent demand that you will miss out on your people if you don't do it virtual? That's what we're being told as a church. Am I correct? That you just got to get used to this. I almost get mad that the preachers keep saying it. The folk ain't coming back.
Yeah.
No, they're not coming back to you because you were whacking the first place.
Right.
Sorry, y'all.
Right.
The folk ain't coming back. The folk, yeah, but you're almost telling the folk don't come back. That's almost what you're saying.
I got people joining and coming.
Sorry for you,
every
brother.
Sunday. So
sorry. But I mean, so what do we do with that? I mean, because I know it's something, and we've seen it pre-COVID. We have some pastors in mind that have done things like almost like, well, if I'll stop my stream to punish the people and force them to come.
Yeah.
We knew of a pastor who stopped having Sunday service because nobody came to Bible study. So he basically just had Bible study. Does punishing people, or is it punishing, or are you trying to refocus them or guide them? I mean, what is that?
It's hard for me. I mean, that's just why I don't get it. I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, listen, if you have something to give, folk are gonna come. If you have something to say, folk are gonna come.
What if you have something to give, but people have been told over and over and over and over and over again, you don't have to come, you can just watch? I mean, like we're sort of pushing that message on them.
And I understand. And I don't, like you said, to me, I don't understand why we would be pushing that message, because and listen, I know a lot of y'all like watching a stream. I know a lot of y'all like getting up and staying at home watch, but there is a difference. I've tried it. There is a complete difference in being at home watching on this little phone or watching on your TV.
I don't like watching.
I just, it's, I'd rather be in,
I have attention span problems, so I can't sit there and look at it. I'll be looking at memes and stuff.
I mean, even the music, the atmosphere, it just ain't the same. It doesn't sound the same.
And you don't have to tell us that we don't sound as good on the stream, because we know it. We know it. Don't tell us. We know.
Right.
We know
I mean, you could think you killing it at church.
We were killing it.
We killed it. And then we get home, you watch and be like,
my wife be like, right. I know I'm the world's loudest preacher. I'm the world's if you put me on in your house, your whole house is waking up. Your whole house is waking up if I'm on. Yeah, I do think there's something, but I mean, and Mark had a good point. There's deeper relationship issues that need addressed. I don't know, what are those that people are frustrated with each other and don't like being around each other, or feel offended, have been hurt, that whole deal. A part of me, and I'm too blue collarish about this. I'm too obligatory about this. I am, if you're a part of something, be a part of it. That's me. That's me. And that's everything it doesn't matter what I'm a part of. Yes, my faith is personal. My relationship with God is personal. But if I claim to be a part of the church in any physical sense whatsoever, it's like I'm not going to put my boy on a sports team and like never show up to practice. He's on the team.
See what Sister Johnson said right there.
I don't participate.
Why use Zoom?
Zoom is the worst.
Why use Zoom for a church service?
Well, some people don't. It's the easiest platform for a lot of people. It's the easiest platform. It's not good for that, but it's easy.
I mean, isn't Zoom like, can't you interact? I don't know. I mean,
I like Rashard. You're long, so we're gonna have to read this. Pastors are refusing to openly admit. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm glad they show the whole thing. Let's see. Pastors are refusing to openly admit that this new normal is convenient for parishioners. But is convenient good, I guess, is the question. People are also looking at the amount of time it saves not physically being at church. To go to normal service, you are looking at least 4 hours of time commitment. The devil is a liar, Rashad.
Churches.
I call lies and garbage. At our church, I'm joking. No, I know what you mean. I mean, you have to get up an hour early. I get it. I get that. An hour. Let's knock it down to 3 hours. Let's say the service is 1 hour. You're probably getting up an hour early to get dressed and get there. You're probably hanging out another half hour or so trying to get out of the church or whatever. And so I got you. And I'm not saying that. But I just feel like we've pushed that narrative too hard.
Why is church the only place we complain about doing this, though?
Well, I think what Michael Harrison is saying connects to what Mark is saying. Mark is saying there's deeper relationship issues. Pastor Harrison is saying we should miss each other like you miss your good, family members and all. But apparently we don't. We don't miss them that much. We might miss a few, and we're probably hanging out with the ones we miss.
Yeah.
President Harrison, we're hanging out with the church members we like. We're not coming back to the rest of the ones we don't like. And so, okay, so here comes the bitter pastor post. Here's the bitter pastor part. So why aren't you still asking me to just do a virtual Zoom funeral for your loved one? Why can't I just say FaceTime me when you want to get married? I know it doesn't. I know it's not the same. It's apples and oranges. I don't care. I'm just being petty now. Because you sure will still pull and expect all the amenities that you claimed we no longer need when it comes to the actual basics of our faith, the foundation of our faith. But when it comes to exploiting those foundations in the services that are offered to people, you do have to put all your resources and the effort that you normally would have put into the basic foundational tenets of your faith that include corporate worship, prayer, fellowship, and whatever. We're saying that it's not worth it for any of that, but it is worth it for you to be a service provider when I have needs, when it's my special day, when loved one passes, when I want to have a ceremony or whatever. Nobody is going to say, Pastor, you got your cameras ready? Just me and my bride and groom are going to show up, or me and my baby are going to show up. And I want everybody to watch this baby dedication on Facebook. Now, in the height of the pandemic, there were a few people who did that. But that is not the new normal.
It's not the new normal.
So I'm saying, and can I just say, it is a broader conversation. What real commitment do we have to the tenets of our faith compared to other religions? That if mosque is where you meet, then mosque is where you go.
Right.
If temple is where you meet, then temple is where you go. Point blank. I don't care if the forest is where you meet. The forest is where you go. We're the only ones saying, well, because there are convenient technological options, again, outside of service provision, outside of what you can do for me in my time of need, there is no need for us to actually practice our religion together as a people anymore. There is only a need for you to maintain all of those resources, buildings, everything, your staff, all the staff. Like people said, we could have online church, and we did with the skeleton crew. Right. I cannot do a funeral with the skeleton crew. I can't. It's impossible. Y'all cut up too much. Be knocking over caskets and whatnot, and trying to pour wine and stuff in the grave. We can't have all that. So that's my thing. And I don't think it's petty, honestly, to ask that question. Are we really the practicers of a faith tradition that has certain standards that are set in stone, that are centuries and thousands of years old? Or are we just consumers of services? Are we just consumers of services? Because if you can pray at home, you can remember Uncle Joe at home. Get your little karaoke mic and get on your porch and say, I remember how Joe used to be at the family reunions. No. Argue with me. Somebody get on here and argue with me. Anybody have a counterpoint?
I just think they want to, they don't want to come to church and give.
Terrence is right. Compared to other religions, people are giving online. I remember Uncle Joe in a happy way. Joe loved everybody. Joe,
in a happy way.
Joe ain't never heard in a happy way. You too churchy. You too churchy, Terry. Joe ain't never heard everybody. He had his issues.
I need your Leslie.
My favorite one would be he had his issues, but he give you the shirt off his back after he robbed you for drugs. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying. So what are we? Are we a religious faith tradition, or are we a service provider? That's a fair question.
It is. And
That's a fair question.
It's a question we've been asking for the last years.
Yeah,
asking this question, and
because what people are saying is your religion tells me you ought to do this for me,
but I don't have to show up for you.
And I guess it's not even for me.
It's not for me.
It's to practice what we say that we are. Well,
a body of believers.
Okay, Pastor Harrison, I'm gonna tell on myself, and I know I'm telling on myself and other people. Could it be that we have been so money raising orientated? I want to say to a point, there are some people that fit that bill, but there are too many of us that have spent our lives in the community, and we're actually getting a lot of the same results in some ways. That others who probably deserve that treatment. Thank you. Those are your services. Could it be that we have those? I mean, they are. Those are your services. Explain that, Sister Johnson. I don't know exactly what you mean by that. Wouldn't want to respond without knowing what you mean by those are your services. Mark says the church community is necessary for refinement. Without it, we're underprepared. I don't think they believe that. I don't think people believe that. The average person who professes to, I believe in a God, I believe in God, I believe in Jesus. I don't want to say a God, I believe in Jesus, but I don't do church. And there were always people who didn't do church. That's nothing new.
And it's, I think Brother Dooley is right. And it's really sad that, these guys, I mean, they refuse to have it no, you can't have my uncles, How dare you say you want to have it at the funeral home? He ain't never came to church before in his life, but you want to have a church funeral for him. Stop.
Well, that's a common, thing. But I mean, I guess what I'm saying is coming out of this pandemic, I feel like we shouldn't have learned what we could do without. We should have learned what we can't do without. But to me, it bothers me because it says something about us and our relationship with each other. And of course, me, Black community. What are we forfeiting that we might not realize it as far as the resource, the space, the tradition, that sort of inherent connection that was one of the last bastions for us as a people. Mm-hmm. And this has kind of been a death knell in the whole we don't need us movement until we need us. To me, that's scary because as a people, we need this. Watch the news, walk down your street. Absolutely. Check out how these kids are behaving and tell me we don't need church in our lives. Seriously. Because if we don't, please show me what's working.
And that's the real question. Yeah. Give me an alternative.
Please tell me what I can send my kids to get the type of, and I didn't say perfection. I didn't say you won't run into a mean lady that looks at you wrong or doesn't speak to you. You can get off of that whole jazz and whatever. No, I'm sick of it. But I'm saying, just please show me a place that is just an inherently good place where the expectation, even if the reality isn't always there and we all fall short, the expectation is goodness and morals and values and practicing things together. Please show me that place that's Black oriented. Please.
Show me the alternative.
So I think we're robbing ourselves. That's my plea to us before we go. That's my plea. That's just me. And so there is a bit of, I think, sadness. And I don't know what makes me sadder, that we either won't realize that we've done this to ourselves or we'll realize it but won't admit it.
Right.
We won't admit it. Like, we've kind of damaged ourselves. We won't see, they say you don't miss your well till your water runs dry or whatever. You don't miss your water till your well runs dry. There's some people drinking dirt and happy and don't know why they're dehydrated. Because the dirt tastes good or it's more convenient. Why dig another well when I can just suck on this dirt? And we don't want to admit that part. That's just me, man. I mean, maybe that's a sermon for another day. But I don't know where we're going. I mean, Easter, we all know we're going to have the Easter drop off the Sunday after Easter. Y'all get back to preaching to 12 people. God bless y'all. I won't be there. I'm going to a wedding, so somebody else can do that. But that's the most depressing week of any preacher's life is the week after Easter. The week after Easter. Because no matter how much you know people's patterns and habits, you just know somebody gonna come back. And not only do they not come back, but the entire church members that was doing all them long services, they don't come back the next week either.
And do me one favor. Take the same picture you took this week and post that same picture, which screenshotting you and your whole congregation.
Oh, I am.
All the people.
Right.
Take the same picture next week. Please don't use that as your Facebook post.
I had somebody use a picture from one of my concert events at their church as their church picture, as if it was their church on Sunday. I said, "You a lying wonder."
It's a lying wonder.
I posted it. I was about to comment. Thank you, Terrence. Week after Easter is a hot mess. The choir members don't come. They've been singing 3 extra services. All them parents with them babies that had them doing them speeches and plays and stuff. Hey, stuff is missing. Stuff is out of place. Folk that stole flowers and walked out with toilet paper. Some of the mics is gone. Y'all come to church and steal.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Somebody said they used one of my chairs for the Easter plays. So I was like, get past the chair before I walk away out the church. It was comedy. But yo, the doors of the church are open.
Oh my God. Sunday service.
Won't you come?
Service.
Won't you come, Terrence? You're a nut, man. You're a nut. Yeah. I mean, we're gonna keep hope alive, as Mark would say. That's what I say. You say hope springs eternal. I say keep hope alive. But John said, what's annoying in the services, folks have come to like the dignity funerals, everybody on the program. Oh yeah. That is true. That's true. That's true. And that's only second to 7 last words, talking about, preaching to people and you don't have a chance to preach to nobody. I understand. Preachers do love crowds. They give a whole different message for a crowd.
Some of them.
Some of them. Oh, no, I was just saying this is the Super Bowl of preachers. Easter is a Super Bowl for preachers. So if Easter is a Super Bowl of preachers, then the week after Easter is the Pro Bowl for preachers, and nobody wants to be in it. It's an exhibition game. This one doesn't count. I don't think anybody gets saved the week after Easter.
It's the what's that week you think in football?
It's a bye week.
It's a bye week.
Next week is a bye week for me.
Week.
For some of y'all, is XFL. Hey, this is Religiously Incorrect. We thank y'all for tuning in. Jeff, you got any last words about Easter, man?
Nah, man. I'm about to go home and go to sleep.
Are you planning and plotting for next Easter?
For what?
Yeah, exactly. I don't start thinking about Easter until the secretary asked me, "We ordering palms this year?" Then I'd be like, "Oh man, Easter's coming."
I think about Easter when Pastor Todd started talking about it's the Lentil season. I'm like, "Oh, it's time for Easter again."
Which I did not know about until I got to Second Baptist. The Lenten season. We'll be able to throw a beach ball and not hit nobody. Man, it's gonna be funny. Pick a seat, any seat. There's plenty of space for you.
Why are you looking at me?
Yes, we do. We are celebrating Pentecost Sunday, and much more since I've been the pastor.
Absolutely.
We're celebrating Pentecost Sunday. Matter of fact, we're gonna do community choir Sunday on Pentecost Sunday. Okay. I'm saying it so y'all steal my idea. Y'all know where it came from. Community choir Sunday. If you at least claim to love Jesus and you're not like a devil worshiper and you like to sing, you can come sing with our choir on that Sunday. Because I feel like there's a lot of people that don't go to church very much, but they would love, like, hey, just one time, learn a couple songs and just have a good time, a joyous time. I don't want you getting up there talking about, hell, Satan and stuff. I just came up here to prove.
Who gonna get a 20-minute speech before the choir song?
Listen, I know who's not. I know who's not. I know who's gonna get muted. Oh yeah, I'm gonna call you about that, Doc. We gonna make something happen. We gonna make something happen. But hey, this is Religiously Incorrect. Be sure to like, follow Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Take a look at our website at religiouslyincorrectpodcast.com. Honestly, I don't even know what's on there, but you look at it and tell us. You go to the website and tell us what you see.
Somebody said they wanted one of these shirts earlier.
No, they won one.
Oh, they won one.
Yeah, we gave one of that the Tammy. Tammy.
It was Mark.
Mark wanted one?
Did he say I'm liking those shirts?
Oh, yeah, he wanted a hoodie. You got to pay for that, Doc. But they're at the web. Are they still on the website?
Did you got to pay for it?
The Todd Johnson of Youngstown does not get special favors. That's just the way it goes.
Mark, I'll buy you a shirt, man. I'll buy you a shirt, Mark.
Jeff.
I'll buy you a shirt, Doc.
Because I freely give the gospel, and that's about it. Everything else has a price. I'm joking. Hey, y'all check out Sunday night service. We on next week, right?
No, we're not.
We're off. We're taking a week off. Hey, we quitting after Easter too. Your church ain't the only people that's gonna be whacked next week.
Sunday night service is off too.
Sunday night service will be off. We're taking the week off. It's spring break. I'll be out of town. We don't want to have to search out another special guest. But y'all make sure you have second Sunday night service in your own homes with your families. Just get
call Todd, text him.
Get together.
He is Sunday night service.
Get together and talk about what you hate about church. Just go around the room and enjoy yourself. So hey, make sure you like, share, follow, hit the alert so that we can share. Anything else you want to say, Big Mike? I missed you guys last week. Glad to be back. I'm glad you guys didn't check on me the whole time I was gone. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Could have been dead in Queens, New York somewhere, trying to get to the Black Awareness rally they told me about from coming to America. I was trying to find out what that was.
Did you find it?
No, I didn't. No. Just a lot of drugs. I'm joking, man. All right, man. If you don't play me off before we lose our jobs, check y'all out next time, Sunday night service. God bless y'all. Take care.